Hey everyone, today is your quick bite training on why launching is not for everyone. So I wanted to do this video now because I'm in the middle of the launch. Lots of you are seeing it from the outside and I've gotten lots of compliments and things like that on the launch and what's been happening and the engagement in the launch. And I wanted to just stress that live launching is not for everyone. And I wanted to talk about some of the realities of like what a launch looks like and what you can do instead. So the reason why the launch model is not for everyone is because number one, it's just really stressful. So if you don't have the bandwidth to, put pretty much all of your time, energy, and focus into a launch for about 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes even longer, it's going to stress you out. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to get burnt out. So depending on your bandwidth, what's your personality, if you are an introvert versus an extrovert, if you're somebody that works hard on deadlines, if you somebody that does things, in advance, is really going to determine whether the launch model is right for you. So I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that it's not right for some people. But the idea here with the video today is to just let you know that it's not right for everyone and it's not right for most people. And I've actually had this conversation with a few of my clients this week. So I figured it was something that definitely was to be talked about. So besides it just being really stressful, lots of work in a short amount of time, the income is basically a one-shot deal, right? So if you're launching something once a year or twice a year, so I think about people like Marie Forleo or Todd Herman that does his twice a year, Kimra Luna, when they're doing these big launches, you pretty much have to hope and pray that all of your goals are met with that live launch, because that's where the bulk of the income is coming from. You don't have anything on evergreen or, continuity where you're getting like a huge influx of cash every month. So by doing the live launches or the launch model, it really puts a lot of pressure on you to hit those goals, to hit those numbers. A lot of times, when you see those big numbers, like I've had, $500,000 launch or $1 million launch or $4 million launch. The other part of it, and that's the reality that I want to bring to you guys today, is there's a couple things that make it that big. Number one is ad spend. So people are spending a lot of money in Facebook ads. And I'm not talking, a couple $1,000s or $5,000. I mean, they're spending $60, $80, $100,000 in Facebook ads to create a launch list and then launching to that list. So until you're ready to like have that kind of budget, it's probably not going to be a big launch, right? So it's even, let's not even talk about like the $1 million ones or the $4 million ones. Let's just talk about the 6-figure ones. People are still spending a lot of money to have a 6-figure launch, probably $5,000 to $10,000 for the launch. So for me, like I know when I go to either launch something or do something evergreen, I take a look at what the end goal is for me. So if I, for example, want to make $40,000 off of my off of my membership site, I'm willing to spend $4,000 a month to get there. So if I want $100,000 in a launch, I would be willing to spend $10,000 to get to that 100,000. So I just want to, like I said, just kind of break down this reality of like how to do the Facebook ads, and really that people are pumping a lot of money into Facebook ads in order to get those types of results. And it's fine if you have the cash flow and you have the cash spend, then totally fine. But at the same time, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk. You're basing it on numbers and saying, okay, if I enroll this many people, if I get this many signups and, 2% or 20% or 5% convert, and then those people go on to the webinar and then those people buy, and then a small percentage of the people might refund and then a small percentage might upsell. So there's just so many factors in there that is really not predictable. You can kind of gauge based on industry standards, but you really don't know what's going to happen. So the ad spend was the first thing of how these like giant launches are happening. The second thing is partners or affiliates. So you see this all the time, especially if you're in our space, because you've seen, Marie Forleo do her launches where everybody's promoting her. Selena Soo just had a launch where, I think she had like 20 or 30 partners. She had a lot of people promoting for her. Todd Herman, same thing. Everybody's promoting for Todd. So that's another piece of it, is having these partners and these affiliates that are really bringing in a lot of people. And, I'm not talking about just a couple people, couple clicks, they're bringing in a couple thousand people to your list, and they're converting those people. And the reality of that as well is that then you have to give away half of your commissions. So let's say you have a $2,000 product, you have an affiliate, they're going to expect probably between 40 and 50% of that's 40 is pretty standard now. It used to be 50, and I've noticed just a lot of people going down to like that 40 mark. Some people even do 30%. So unless you're going to have like big name partners with big lists, it's really hard to grow that launch list with, just a handful of partners. It can still be done. You can still have people promote for you. I'm doing that right now with my Captivate launch. A bunch of my students are promoting for me. But it's on a very smaller scale, right? I will be doing a live launch in October, so you guys are still going to be, in my space here for that, and I will definitely share with you everything that I've learned in that launch as well. And I will be doing that launch with partners. So, and the reason why I'm doing that launch, because I'm sitting here, telling you that it's not for everyone, is for me, the live launch that I'm doing right now is the buffer, the beginning of me evergreening that entire process. So I'm running the live launch. It's just to my list, just to warm audience. Even the ad spend are all just retargeted ads, so I'm not spending a whole ton on ads. And it's just going to people who already know who I am. So we're doing a live launch, and then once that's complete, we're evergreening the entire process, from the challenge, all of the emails, the webinar. So everything is pretty much going to be on autopilot. So that is the alternative. I want to give you two alternatives, which are kind of similar, but the one is to do what I'm doing now, which is a live launch, and then only to your list, warm list, and then evergreen it. And the evergreen will go to cold traffic. So you may have like an opt-in, a challenge, something like that, where you're continuously bringing people in all day, every day, right? So it's not just like this 3 or 4 week period, it's all the time. And so what's really great about that is like you have a consistent income. Once you get that rolling, once you get that going, you have a consistent income, and you can gauge and say, you know what, I sign up 5 people every week. I sign up 10 people every week. So you can have that, that security of knowing that you're going to get paid all the time, and you're not relying so heavily on a big launch that you're doing once or twice a year to support the rest of, your income for the year. With that, if you have a signature program or something that you're running all the time, what you can do also is what I call an internal launch every 6 to 8 weeks. And so essentially what that is again, instead of going to cold traffic or trying to get new people in or using affiliate partners, you're just saying, hey, to your list, hey, just wanted to let you know that if you sign up for XYZ program in the next 48 hours or in the next 72 hours, you're going to get this bonus, or you're going to get this discount. So that's what I call an internal launch, because basically you're reminding people that kind of already know that you have this program and maybe didn't jump on it before. You're going to basically give them an offer that they can't refuse. And so every 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to get a bigger influx. So let's say you get 5 people on a weekly basis during your evergreen funnel. During the 6 to 8 week internal launch, you can actually maybe get like 50 people at one time. So I love doing that. And, the other thing which I was talking about was just to evergreen it, right? To just have it on autopilot all the time, working for you no matter what. So, I think, a couple other things I want to say about that is, the other part is like, you're not going to always have to like continue to like make new content when you're evergreen or when you're running something, all the time. Like everything's already done. The emails are written, the reminders are written, like everything's done, right? And you just have to wash, rinse, repeat it. So anyway, that is the end of your quick bite training, and it's just that launching is not for everyone. And I'm talking about these big launches. They're not for everyone. So what I want to do is open up the conversation around this, as always, and I want you to comment below. Do you feel like you are a launch girl? Do you feel like you're the type of person that would benefit or would be fueled by a launch, or do you feel like you like more of the leveraged income, the evergreen, and things like that? And now I remember one thing that I wanted to say before I go is, part of the reason why I'm doing a live launch or a huge launch, partner launch in October is more for me for exposure, not necessarily for the revenue. So my stuff is going to be running all year. It's going to be available all year. And then we're going to do a big launch in October. And really it's more for exposure, for credibility, and for relationships with some of the partners. So I just wanted to give you guys a high level overview and a broad view of how people are doing these $100,000 launches, $300,000 launches. They're using partners, they're spending lots of money on ads, and they're also stressing themselves out by relying so heavily on that launch meeting the financial goals. So comment below, are you a launch person? Do you like the launch process? What do you think? Are you more of an evergreen person? What do you think about the internal launches? I want to hear from you. Again, this is obviously something that I'm truly excited about. I love working on just the process and the strategy around this with my clients. So comment below, and I will see you guys on the next quickie training video. Bye.